Welcome, travelers. Come, warm yourself by the fire and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, tales of Tamriel. I am your host, Aggelos, and we are back for another amazing episode of Tales of Tamriel. And I am joined by the one, the only Arkhaniir Silvershield himself. How are you, sir?
Well, I am still a bit under the weather. I'm tired. I haven't slept yet, so I'm great for another episode of Tales of Tamriel as usual.
I'll say that's kind of like your status quo for this at this point. I mean,
yeah. That's that. I can't do anything if I'm not sleep deprived. That's how I must go.
Well, yeah, no,
we all know this.
I agree with that. It's fine. It works. It works that way. We also have a special guest tonight. You may know him from around the Twitch universe. We got Lotus of Doom. How are you, sir?
I am doing well. It's kind of surreal to be on here after 177 episodes of listening to the show, so it's a pleasure.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. We greatly appreciate it, and we've got a fun show because I'm sure we all have quite a few tales. In fact, actually, I even have some. I'm not saying I normally don't.
That is strange.
It is. It is. Oh, it's been so busy, but I actually got anyway. We'll jump into tales when we get there, but I believe we also have some. Hold on, I gotta scroll through our notes here. Oh, so much Murkmire stuff to talk about tonight because they actually just had the live stream today that talked about Murkmire and all the fun.
It's almost
stuff.
like you planned it that way.
Almost. It's like it's a. Yeah, we're just going to let everyone think like this is a well-thought-out plan and a well-thought-out show. It's not. Anyway.
Don't tell our secrets.
I know.
Come on now.
Keep it a secret. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. I understand. All right. No, a little bit of Lord of the Rings in there. Anyway, moving on. Before we hop into the show, of course, we have to say thank you to our amazing Patreon supporters, and I don't have them on my notes.
Awesome.
I know.
Crushed it.
See, right there, we just showed how...
This is...
Yeah. No, I do. I actually have it on the other notes, the other show notes. So we have Happy Hansel, T-Elf, and Spectral Spire. They are supporting us this month. New supporters over there this month at patreon.com/Dungeon Crawler Network. You guys are awesome because you keep the metaphorical torches. See, even I'm tired. Metaphorical torches lit and allow us to continue doing these shows. We thank you for that so much. It's pretty awesome. I noticed we got a few iTunes reviews, but they were just like 5-star reviews with no words, so I can't shout people out because I don't know who left them. But we appreciate it because, you know, iTunes reviews allows people to know we're a real podcast, that we say real words, and sometimes they matter.
Sometimes, rarely, on occasion.
Yeah, occasionally.
Yeah. I mean... 178 episodes worth of occasional speaking with words. So,
yeah. You got a couple words per episode at least.
At least once or two. Yeah. All right. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and just jump right on into the show. First thing we always do is we talk about what we've been doing in Tamriel this week. And since we have a guest, Lotus, you get the honors of telling us all about your adventures within the Elder Scrolls Online, or even single player if you have.
Well, I'll just go as if it was not my first time being here. So since the last time I listened to you guys last week, I've actually been trying to catch up a little bit to some of the newer content. I'm always like 1 or 2 DLCs behind storyline-wise because I get caught up with all the group stuff that I just do on repeat. But we've got the 2 new Wolf Hunter dungeons pretty well on farm mode. Which those are a lot of fun. They look fantastic, and you know they're just really, really enjoyable dungeons. I liked them quite a bit. I thought the mechanics were really creative. And when I'm not with my group, I've actually been digging through the Clockwork City because I don't want to be 1 full year rotation behind storyline wise. So I've been pushing through that storyline, and so far I actually like it quite a bit. I want to get into Somerset, but I don't want to do things out of order, with the exception of the AD storyline, which I still haven't done.
I don't blame you there. That seems fine. Yeah. And, you know, you're actually up until I'm pretty much on par right now, but you were kind of like me for the longest point where I was like a full year behind everyone else.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's one of my favorite parts of the game, and it's why I started playing it.
Yeah.
But like, there's so much to do in this game. I periodically just like, I'll go on and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make some progress in whatever storyline I happen to be in. This time it's Clockwork. And then the next thing I know, 5 people are online. They're like, yo, you want to run some dungeons? You want to screw some stuff up? You want to go to the Imperial City? The event's going on. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll do that. And then 4 hours of game time, I'm like, okay, well, wife's home, got to take the dog out. And I made 0 progress in my story, so that worked out. That's pretty solid.
Been there, done that. I understand.
Yep.
Completely.
At least you do other stuff. Like, I can't talk about Wardenfell's storyline because Ag didn't do it for 1 year because he didn't do like Clockwork, Rothgar, or I don't know, Dark Brotherhood.
I have to do them in order.
All that.
I know, I'm like that too. I can't go to the next one. Like, I just want to unlock the Sijic story skill line because people are like, how do you not have that? And I'm like, because it's not in order and I'm not there yet, so I just don't have it.
And, and I know they designed.
Like, if the story is connected, yeah, but
they are. Like, they are though. Just think about
There's
it.
always little
is Dark Brotherhood connected to Clockwork City?
The final quest. The final quest with Naryu.
Man, now I feel bad.
Yeah, Naryu and
they
Raz
weren't connected.
Yeah, no, Raz and Naryu show up at the end of it.
Yeah. And if you don't do that, like they talk about meeting you in Morrowind and doing all. So yeah, no, there is a quest line that legitly ties in. Like, I know that almost everything. I shouldn't say that. Almost every DLC is sort of agnostic of one another. Except they always have a tie-in. Every single one has a tie-in that is a spoiler that leads up to the next DLC in the chain.
I know that started with like Wardenfell, and then like it was Wardenfell, Clockwork City, Somerset. I didn't know the previous like tease.
No, they all
Rothgar.
Yeah, they always have like a little touch of something coming up.
Yeah, Rothgar teased Clockwork City back before we even knew about it.
Yep.
Now I'm upset.
The only DLC that you can do 100% without it having being completely separated are the dungeon DLCs.
And the Imperial City did it? That story was...
You're right.
Was that connected? I was going to say, that was actually...
No.
I was surprised that story was actually pretty decent because it's in the middle of a PvP zone. I don't remember if that was connected.
It wasn't. You are right.
So.
Well, but then again, that was before they started doing DLC.
That's true.
Because remember, Craglorn, which came out before that, is also agnostic of when you start it. It is 100% by yourself.
That's true.
But those are the only two. Everyone else, they started leading us up with quest, our little hints all the way through. I see Profane Vampire says, it's okay, it's still ESO. Yeah, hello chat room, by the way. I didn't say hello to the chat room, and that's my fault. I'm sorry.
You keep forgetting it.
I do. I do.
They are going to get angry.
They are. But I'm not too worried. Yeah, no, I had to do them in order because there are quest lines, especially near the end of each and every one, that have a tie-in for the next DLC. Like Naryu at the end of Dark Brotherhood legitly flirts with you and says she'll meet you in Morrowind.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. See, if only they didn't tie the story quests behind guild ranks, I would have completed Dark Brotherhood. But I just don't want to grind dailies. I hate... Don't do it, Zaz, please. If you listen, please think about the people who plays this game only for the story, nothing else.
Yeah, Dark Brotherhood ranks were unpleasant.
Dark Brotherhood I didn't mind as much as Thieves Guild. Thieves Guild,
yeah, the ranks were rough. I'm not sneaky. I'm very into kicking in the front door and throwing a battle axe at somebody and not so much sneaking around.
Which I could kind of do in Dark Brotherhood more so than I could in Thieves Guild, so
that's valid.
Yeah, that sort of worked out for me. Oh, I'm getting murdered by this world boss, and I really should be kiting him around, not trying to, do what I'm doing here. Yeah. Anything else you have that was interesting?
Not really. I pulled they've got those new monster set piece things that drop, the motif style deals where you get one from the boss, and it's weird because my crew and I are always like, oh yeah, we got to do that. And then we do like every other dungeon, and then we'd like, oh yeah, we were supposed to do that one like over and over again. But, on my second key for this one, I actually pulled the shoulders, and,
Nice.
my buddy was like, what kind of RNG is that? So the rest of the party all tried it. He was the only person. Everyone got it on that one dungeon we ran for a pledge. Everyone got the shoulders except for him. And I was like, that is some obscene RNG right there. So,
Speaking of obscene RNG, can I speak about a little bit of insane RNG?
No, you may not. Please.
I won the Bethesda Day competition.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
when I saw that, I was like, are you serious? I've been trying to buy one of those things on eBay just because I'm like, dude, I don't want this hideous black one. I was like, I want the one that looks all cool and is branded and stuff. No, nobody sells those things. First thing that pops up in my feed, oh, congratulations to Aggelos for winning. I was like, you goddamn kidding me? I was like, I was at the one. It was like, what kind of, it was RNG spilling all over the place.
Yeah. Yep, sort of got a little bit of RNG there, so I'm very excited about that. Definitely.
Oh, that was pretty entertaining to see, actually.
Now all you have to do is get Aggelos to invite you to his house, and then you know what to do next.
Well, I gotta put a lock on that.
You just gotta channel your inner, Khajiit, and the rest will just take care of itself.
We were just talking about I was working on trying to get my sneak skill up.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, no, that was my insane RNG. So
that's some pretty good RNG right there. It's nice when it spills into like real tangible things.
Yeah. Wait, I had some other kind of RNG too that I can't remember in game that I got, but I can't remember at the moment. So
see, he's been getting his RNG is so high and so frequent, he can't even keep track of it. It's like, what did I win next time? Yeah, I can't.
I don't remember.
Meanwhile, if I win just one thing, I don't forget it for the next 15 years.
No, Mr. Winning the freaking rarest
I was going to say,
mount off an Ouroboros crate? An Ouroboros crate?
Here's the thing, though. I've opened most likely 10 times the amount of Ouroboros crates you opened, Aggelos. There's probably that, because I've been lurking in pretty much every drop stream.
Fair.
I opened about 20 of those, so let me have my mount, okay?
I have never, I don't, all for you at that point, but I'm just saying I've never even gotten anything above a potion from one of those.
I think the tiger is the only thing that drops that is not a potion from Ouroboros crates.
I think there's a pet that matches.
It was probably bugged.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a scarlet. Yeah, it's basically the same thing, except it's a pet. Now, I got 10 of those from the Bethesda Game Day event.
Oh, okay.
And my best gift, I think, was a crown mimic stone. I got, I think out of 10 crates, I think I only averaged, 36 crown gems total. I was like, man, is that trash.
and this isn't say I'm complaining about those, because they're
free.
They're free, and worst case scenario, they're for free crown gems that can go towards something else.
Yeah.
But it's just, we were under the impression for the longest time that they literally don't, that's all you get.
It's still funny just how bad the RNG on them is, even if they are free. It's just okay, I open a crate and it's like, oh cool, I got 2 crown gems worth of stuff. It's like, that's insulting even on a crown gem level. It's like, yikes.
Definitely.
Honestly, when I got the tiger, I thought it was a bug. Is this supposed to happen? No. I was even reluctant about tweeting it because I thought ZeniMax could take it back. That's a bug. We are taking it back. And I'm like, no. But thankfully, it was just good RNG.
Musclehead 007 says, I think Ag's playing his AD High Elf Sexplar. Actually, no, I am not. She's 100% Nord. So Yeah, take that.
I'm not gonna take your word, and I'm gonna open the stream.
Yeah, you open the stream.
And wait.
Hold on.
There we
I
go.
took the mask
He's
off.
telling the truth for once.
Yeah.
That's good.
Once.
Oh, that's the mask. This is actually, and I'll get into my Tales. I've been playing this a little bit because we were talking about jumping to different characters, and I'm actually trying something else. But before we do that, let's move on with Tales because we have a lot to talk about, and we're already 20-some minutes into the show.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say that because 10 minutes of it was probably that song, but
Yeah.
because I'm just looking at the Twitch live feed or whatever. But yeah, no. Oh, I can't. Just a quarter. I don't remember what I have to do here. Oh, I blew myself up. Anyway, Ark, what were you doing?
Yeah. Right, so let me open the notes real quick. So first of all, you know my adventure in 3 DPS 1 tank build, right? So I've been trying to improve my Warden tank to be able to tank without a healer, and I thought this would be good. For the last couple episodes, I talked about it, and I said, okay, Warden tank is good and fun. I take it back.
Oh.
It is so squishy compared to a DK. It's just, So we did Moon Hunter Keep, Veteran Moon Hunter Keep with 3 DPS, Zeri, Geo, and Ophelia, and I don't remember dying so much in such a long time. It is just brutal. I can't even understand. It took me a while to understand this, but basically, Dragon Knights have so much damage reduction compared to Wardens.
Yeah,
So
they
I'm
do.
like taking so much damage. I'm trying to balance it with my self healing and everything, but then I'm lacking resources. Because Warden don't have resource return like Dragon Knights.
Yep.
So it was just a mess. I was like, I keep dying, and the DPS goes like, block Arg, and I'm like, I'm blocking. So they go like, then dodge. So I'm like, okay, yeah, dodging makes sense. If I'm dying by blocking, I dodge and I still die. So I'm... Oh, it was so frustrating. I call it the Moon Hunter Keep of Suffering. So...
Well, welcome
especially
to
those behemoths. It's just
welcome to every other
Yeah.
class that is not a Dragon Knight. That's pretty
Yes.
much
Yeah.
tanking
Yeah.
on every class that is not a Dragon Knight.
To be fair, that's about as bad as it gets with challenge-wise on a 3 damage, and that people were telling us we weren't going to pull that off. That was rough. So
if we eventually completed it, but still, yeah, it was bad. I'm still improving though. So if I had resources, I would have completed it. I mean, I wouldn't have suffered that much. But resource management in Warden sucks, so I am trying to get myself, and this is just my next set of tales, I've been trying to get Ulfnor's Favor from Fanglair. Now, Ulfnor's Favor, what it does is the 5th bonus increases the resource return from your heavy attacks by 30%.
Oh.
That's a huge amount.
Yeah.
Now, that could help me a lot with the resource management. Now, the problem is, I've run Fanglair 12 times so far. I got everything except a one-handed weapon. Whatever it is, I don't care. I don't even want 2 one-handed weapons. I'm even okay with using a staff as my second bar, which I got. I got the shield as well. 12 runs... Not a single sword, mace, or an axe. It just doesn't
rough.
drop. I ask everyone in the group, no one gets it. I run with premates, no one gets it. I'm going crazy at this point. I've been trying. I memorized the dungeon. What I do is I just open Netflix now. I open a movie or something, and I just don't even look at screen. I just tank. But yeah, so that's been rough. I also tried my Warden in PvP in Imperial City.
Okay.
Again, it is so squishy with the same sets, same similar type of skills as my Dragon Knight. I can go 1 versus 4 and stay alive easily with my Dragon Knight. My Warden dies 1-on-1 just like that. It just drops. Now, I haven't got used to it, yes, but still, the difference is insane. And I haven't been able to figure out what makes that difference. Like, probably the passives from class skill lines, I suppose. So for example, let me quickly check here. Draconic Power, there you go, Iron Skin. Increases the amount of damage you block by 10%. That alone is an insane difference. So I guess yeah, there's that. Okay, my throat is acting up again.
Okay. No, it's all good. I had to drink some water
on.
earlier as well because I was getting a little scratchy.
Yep. There's one final thing that I need to talk about, and I cannot.
All right.
So we did on PC. No, I'm gonna finish
You're gonna
this.
push it through. All right.
I won't be stopped by my throat. We did our first guild event on PC European Mega Servers,
yeah.
the Silver Shield Clan, as we did World Boss runs, and Isha was there. She's actually like we've been doing a lot of things with Isha on PC European side as well. We've been running dungeons, we've been doing as the guild event, and we had like 5 people, so that was nice as a first guild event.
Yeah, that is
Getting
nice.
together 5 people, I mean, considering how difficult it is to normally schedule events, I was actually pretty impressed that we had like 5 people there. So that's been fun, and I'm planning to do more. And that is the end of my tales. Now I can rest.
Nice. All right, well, going on to what I've been doing, as you could probably see on the screen, I've been trying to level up. Well, I actually have a level 50 sorcerer, and was more or less just a crafting mule. Like I leveled her up. I forget when I leveled her up. I've leveled her up a long time ago. She's been 50 for a very long time. But I don't even remember what I was planning on doing. I think I was going to make a tank. I don't even remember. Like, just some weird build. Anyway, they made some changes to two-handed, and two-handed sorks right now are really ripping in PvP, or PvE rather. So I'm like, I'm gonna try and switch her over, because I have a whole bunch of gear already. I'll switch her over, and I'll make her a two-handed stamina DPS for a sork.
Right.
Well, I had enough skill points because I had enough foresight to grind out a few skill points early on. Because, again, remember, she was a crafting mule, so you need a lot of skill points to get, like, the retainers and all the... And she was doing writs every day as well, so 10 in every skill, a lot of points. So I had more than enough points. I still have more than enough points until I realized that nothing I'm doing right now, or I should say, when I leveled up, entire skills that are required for the build I'm going for, I never touched. Entire skill lines, I never touched. Like two-handed. When I was leveling her up, she was dual-wield. She had no points in two-handed. So I respect her, I got all that, and then I went to go put the points, and I went, crud. The whole point of a two-handed build is the fact that they're two-handed, and she had no two-handed skills. So here I am. Like, even right now, I'm pretty much surviving off of auto attacks or heavy attacks to kill things. I have to go and do the Sigit quest line as well, because she needs one of the key factors here is using the imbue weapon. And apparently it's really good for sorks. And I've been now trying to...
So what you end up doing is you made another useless build.
Well, currently, yes. Thanks for that, Ark, by the way. That was awesome. No. All my builds are awesome. This is a Sorcerer Sexplar. So it's a Sex Sork.
Oh, it's crossing classes now.
It's cross-classable.
My recommendation for leveling your skill line would be either go into a battleground or a random normal dungeon, pop up one of the experience scrolls you get from daily rewards, use normal skills until the very end, and then just put whatever skill line you need to level in your skill bar before the activity is complete. So that huge experience proc will give you a lot of ranking in that skill line. That's how I level them up usually.
I didn't even think about that. That's
Yeah, if you can manage with one skill bar too, set your back bar up as a total level up bar.
Yeah.
Just use your front skills, flip it right before, and then you don't even have a chance to forget as long as you just remember to flip it at the end. I did that for a while.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. Yeah, but it will make it a lot more easier than trying to grind with like unopened skills or whatever.
Yeah. It's well, the worst part is, well, here's the thing. The one key part of doing damage on this build is imbue weapons. That's ungrindable. It's not experience. You have to go find the Sigic rifts and close them.
Yeah.
To unlock.
I still haven't done it because it's just too.
Thankfully,
too
imbue
grindy.
weapon is pretty. You get that pretty early, I think. No, that's like 4 in, I think. It's not the I'm like, maybe you get it early, thinking it was like the first or second skill, and then I'm like, oh, right, you don't.
Really making me look forward to doing those. How positively you're speaking of them.
Well, I mean, let's be frank about it. It's annoying.
I've heard it's very grindy.
I mean, it's not even that it's grindy. You can, if you have the time to dedicate, you can do it. And there are guides out there now that make it a lot more simple than when I was doing it, because it kind of only gave you a rough area of where it's at. So you're running all around. Like, now, the one saving grace of this entire thing is that you have
Augur of Obscure.
Augur of the Obscure to talk to you the entire time, and that pretty much is the saving grace.
That
of
is
everything.
the highlight of the entire Somerset DLC.
It is.
Or expansion.
It
It's
is.
just
And
nothing else matters when you start talking with Augur of Obscure.
it's very true. Now, here's the thing: do you enjoy housing?
Me? Of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I do. I was gonna say, I was actually just recently talking to Coco Michelle, like one of the housing queens of ESO, and posted my thing. My main place is the one right outside Mournhold. I got it because I kind of liked it. I'm a big Morrowind fan, and I got the Quantum Induralia or whatever. And I got it just because I was like, sweet, free cheap port right to the pledges. And then I ended up really liking the place. Just because when we finish a dungeon, we can all free port. Nobody has to pay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and then I actually looked around the place. I was like, oh, never mind. I'm just going to do this. So I don't even want to think how much time I wasted like decorating that thing.
Okay, well, here's the fun part. When you finish that quest line, you get the Augur of Obscure, which is literally a glowing, talking skull. And I'm not gonna lie, the things he says are probably the funniest thing you'll hear in this game. It is
How big is it?
It's a skull.
So it's just a skull.
It'll
so
sit
like
on your table and talk to you. Yes.
So do you think I could fit it in the volcano on the mural from the Vardenfell map?
You could.
Oh, probably.
You could put it on the
So
top.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So then I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you could. It's not very big. But
Perfect.
the fact it talks to you, that alone is probably the best part of the entire thing. Yeah, it's definitely worth, that alone is worth the entire ordeal of doing it. But like I said, it's not really grind. It's just like you have to find these tears in time on every single map in every single zone.
My problem is, on European side, I don't have any of the way shrines unlocked because I didn't do quests.
Yeah. If you don't have,
that's a huge trouble.
if you don't have way shrines unlocked, like, you're right. You just brought it up now that I'm thinking when I do it on this character, because I've really not done. I think I leveled this character in Skyreach. I think it was. I leveled her up with another person. I think it was Robot, to be honest. Robot
I
Dancer.
wouldn't be surprised.
And it was like Skyreach. So this person has like literally 0 quests done at all.
Then yeah, you'll have the same problem with that one.
Yeah. because at least on my guy, yeah, it cost me a little bit because I just ported. I didn't care if it was like 1,000 gold to port. I'm like, I just want to get to the next area. It's gonna be a problem. I see, music box hype. Yeah, I'm really excited for that music box too. I still play with the music on all the time. I know.
Oh, absolutely. I've got all the CDs downloaded on my phone. It's like again, it's a different flavor than the Jeremy Soule single player ones or whatever, but it's still really good.
Oh yeah, but no, I have them all on my phone. I listen to them at work all the time. I also listen to The Witcher, but I play the instrumental music while I'm at work, and it's Elder Scrolls soundtracks and The Witcher 3 soundtrack is what I listen to all day long, and I wouldn't change that, period. But yeah, so that's what I was doing, and I also did a small little guild event, which I didn't even have all that great participation. Lavum showed up, which was fun. Now, it was sort of my fault because it was kind of an impromptu guild event on a Wednesday, and I forgot that Sir Henry runs an event. So he was doing a trial, and there were already people in the trial. So, but no, we had fun. We did all of the Somerset dailies, so we had a lot of fun running around doing those. I really enjoyed doing the Somerset dailies, and I actually got 3 Sapiarch motifs out of each one we did. I got a Sapiarch motif page out of every daily quest I did that day.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then he gets oh, you got the tiger.
Oh, you got the tiger. Yeah. I mean, it's unfair, right? No. Anyway. That's pretty much what I did in the Elder Scrolls Online. So let us go ahead.
Before you wrap up.
Okay. Yep.
Hold on.
Yep.
There was a YouTube comment asking what is a Sexplar build, because we talk about it all the time without an explanation as to what a Sexplar build is. What's the build itself?
Ark, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because we actually got an email as well asking about what a Sexplar is. Let me just pull this up here. This is from Travis, and the question was Sexplar? Greetings, fellow travelers. Well, greetings, sir. Long-time listener, first-time writer. So I keep telling myself that I'll look up what the heck a Sexplar is when I get home. I figured maybe a Stamina-Based Templar or something like that. Well, you are correct in that regard. So finally, I remembered to Google it. I don't suggest Googling this while at work. That's a wise plan for anybody. At any rate, I was unable to find any real reference to what it might be. Please tell us on the podcast. So, Travis, let me start off with telling you a little bit about the origins of this. This actually started... Oh, I can't remember the patch. Ark, do you remember? Anyway, they buffed how they were doing... It was when they did away with a lot of the minor buffs and everyone had either major or minor, everything.
Yeah, wasn't it right before Morrowind dropped?
It was right before
all shifted.
Yes, right before Morrowind. Well, what we were finding out was that it was possible. Oh, the Gold Knight just blinded me. That was pretty funny. What we found out was that I could, using a few undaunted skills, effectively tank with a two-handed weapon and not a shield on a Templar. Specifically because you had to wear 5 pieces of Armor Master. And then what you did was on your bar, you had an armor skill like Evade. Like the Evade one, you put that on both bars. Because it gave you essentially the same stat as if you were wearing Hispark, the chance to passively dodge and attack.
Yep.
And just by having that on there. So you were sitting there with maxed out you didn't even need a shield, because that when they added that in, you were able to, just by having that on there, when you popped one of those armor things, it actually gave you enough resources that you were at armor and spell cap. All right. And you were rocking enough magicka to keep the shield up. So in reality, you didn't even have to block because you always had either the dodge evade or you had blazing shield up.
So this was back then. You didn't have to wear 5 medium to use evasion as well. So you could use it as long as it's unlocked.
Correct. Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah.
It was broken, but I missed that.
Oh, yeah. Everyone was using that, especially in PvP. That was just what you had on.
Black Rose set.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Sexplar originally was this two-handed tanking build. And the joke came from Anchorman. If you ever watched Anchorman, I know we meme that a lot in our official Discord channel. But the joke was about when he was trying to seduce the female reporter. He was like, Brian Fantana was going to put on some cologne, and there's like, so what are you going to use? London Gentleman? No. Blackbeard's Delight. He's like, no, this is a special lady. She deserves something special. Hits this little button, and this like panther pops out of the wall. He's like, it's called Sex Panther from Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries. And then he puts it on, and like, ooh, that's pungent. Oh, like it's really bad. And he's like, they've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time. And that was the joke because it was a two-handed tank. So the idea was 60% of the time it could tank every time. That was where the Sexplar came from. Now, I do call my...
And I'm against this because it's a blasphemy. If you are going to tank, you are going to use a sword or whatever and a shield.
Nope.
A two-hander tank is an insult to tanking community.
So does that make all 3 of us tanks? I never actually realized what role the Sexplar.
So no.
No, well, I roll DPS at this point. Now
I thought you largely did DPS, but I was like, wait, the Sexplar is a tankish thing?
Yes, it was a tank. And I even did trials with it.
Really?
Yes.
Did it work?
Yeah. Absolutely.
60% of the time?
As long as I could hold the boss, it worked because I could keep the taunt with the Undaunted skill, the Inner Fire.
Yeah, Inner Fire. Yep.
Yeah, no, and with the two-handed. Oh, and you also mixed it with Brawler. Remember Brawler added that damage shield?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You never needed to block because you always either had Blazing Shield going or Brawler. You just never
Plus there
died.
are Templar heals.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Now, the biggest thing was resources, but as long as you had a healer dropping shards on you, it was cake. Like, it was cake. Yeah. Now, I've loved the name Sexplar, so I keep it even for my now DPS build, because I still use a two-hander even though it's not meta. It's not. Two-hander, while they did buff it, it still doesn't do... It's not the meta. You can't... Especially on a Templar, because the thing that made two-handed really good was that imbue weapon from the Sigic line. Problem is you can't use it because the key of a Templar is biting jabs. It's too good to get away from, and you lose the benefit of imbue weapon. So the Sexplar is my two-handed build that I use right now, which is 5 Reliquin, 5 Berserking Warrior, and 2 Selines, using a two-handed axe. So there you go. You now have the history of the Sexplar and the joke and everything that it was originally part of. So yeah, that was the joke of what the Sexplar was. But yeah, no, I did trials, I did vet dungeons, pledges with it. Yeah,
I mean, I love being able to just that is one of the things that I did love about this game once I got into it, because I have no experience with MMOs other than this, is, man, you can do some weird stuff in this game.
Yeah. It might not be a, like you said, end game effective. There's no way in creation I would have done that for like time trial, vets or anything, but standard vet trials and stuff like that, or not vet trials, normal trials, and I think vets that you weren't doing hard mode, I did it on. I had no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
People think it's
huge
weird.
Example of this is Elora Wendy, actually, who plays as a stamina bow warden healer. And they managed to do like veteran scale color, fang layer, veteran DLC dungeons with it. They suffered. They suffered a lot.
Yeah.
But they actually managed to complete it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's even with my Sexplar. We could do it. Yeah.
It's still a blasphemy, so.
Yeah. Now, it was actually really funny because before we redid the DCN site, there really was a write-up for how to do the Sexplar. But again, we removed a lot of those builds because I didn't have the time to keep them up anymore. So a lot of our builds and stuff were just old from like patch 1.4, we're on like update, 20 now? I don't know. Like some insane update.
Something insane.
Yeah, we were like 2-3 years behind on our stuff, and it's just like I can't keep up on this. There's other people who do better tracking of these guides, so we just removed them and we just stuck to our podcast at that point. But yeah, nope, that's the Sexplar. So everyone got to learn the history of that and the inside joke that we have. So, but it was fun. I was kind of Morrowind really destroyed it too, because the Sexplar, our Templar in general, already suffers from resource problems. Period. If you're by yourself, you're suffering from resource. Now, we have some of the best resource regenerators in the game, but only for other people. Like, shards is fantastic, but you can't use your own shards. So you need a second Templar to even make it worthwhile, right?
I've never fully understood that, why you can't use your own shards.
Oh, yep. Nope, you cannot use your own shards. So it kind of... Now, when Morrowind hit, remember, they didn't want tanks perma-blocking. Remember, that's when the first set of the perma-block started to change?
Yeah, that made me actually change a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, that effectively killed the Sexplar as a build, because at that point in time, because it was a sweeping change across the board that really hurt resources everywhere, and the Sexplar that were, you were essentially surviving by keeping Magicka up for Blazing Shield and stamina to do Brawler, and when you were out, you were dead.
Yeah.
And yeah, that Morrowind killed the original Sexplar because you couldn't do it with the amount of how they had it set up.
See, your favorite build got killed by your favorite zone.
Yeah, I know,
That's
right?
Justice.
Oh, that sucks. But yeah, nope, that was it. All right. So now I'm glad you brought that up, so I didn't want to forget that. Oh, I also forgot one other thing. One of the awesome listeners of our show, who actually wrote in for us for all of the lore for the 36 lessons, started their own podcast called Written in Uncertainty, which is a
Oh, did that start?
Yeah, it's a couple episodes in. And check that out. Just Google search Written in Uncertainty. It is
making a note of that right now.
Yep, a podcast all about Elder Scrolls lore. Not Elder Scrolls Online specifically, but Elder Scrolls lore. And this guy knows his stuff. Like, it's in-depth stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So...
That's awesome.
Yeah, Written in Uncertainty.
We were talking about it, and
Uncertainty.
Yeah, he mentioned it was in the works, but I didn't know it was actually, released. The episodes were released. That's great.
Yep, it's out.
I'll check it out.
So definitely check that out. I promised I'd give a shout out, and I didn't do it last episode just because I forgot. So I'm glad you remember that. But hey, we got to move on to the news because we're already starting to run.
Before that, I just want to say one thing. Have you not? I don't know if you know. I don't know if you noticed lately, but you know how there were a lot of podcasts at the early times of ESO, and then a lot of them just dropped out in time. And lately, we've been having a lot of new podcasts again, and that makes me happy. There are lore seekers, the Written Uncertainty, as you just said, the Tenets, Kyle, and
that's fantastic for new players. I actually just went through those. I got to give them a review. I was very impressed. They got good audio quality, and man, they I wish I could explain to new people when I try to explain like stuff without just bombarding them with information. They have it itemized so well. I'm like, man, that's a lot better than me rambling for 9 minutes at this poor person, and they just uninstall the game.
Right. I know that is a.
There is one quote that I love from Stark is that he's explaining races, and for Nords, he goes, the Nords are primarily responsible for getting punched in the face repeatedly and not noticing.
Yeah,
that's my favorite quote right now.
That works. And it does make sense because I know people have been, asking us about that. And I'm like, go listen to it. We're 5 years into this show, right?
Yeah.
So we're kind of, and that's the same with the Lore Seekers. I love those guys. They're fantastic. Jibs and Cash, go listen to them if you want. They're approaching from a very amateur level of lore. And they even admit this at that point. Because they listened to our show, and I know Cash was like, I listen to yours and I get lost. Like how much lore you know. So they approach it from a very user-friendly perspective. So
they're growing very well though.
They
like
are.
that, like, because I mean, as part of the cult of the Guar, as Ark so loves, yeah, when we've run with stuff, I've run several things with them on the PS4 guild portion of it, and so many of them were like, oh, I've never done this, and I'm like, don't worry about it, like, you don't concern yourself. They're like, yeah, but I could be dead weight. I was like, we can one man these things, we're going to show you how this works and you'll be fine. And they were like, everybody just was selling themselves short. Everyone we've run with, I'm like, you guys are way better than you let on. Like, I think people are just nervous sometimes getting into stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but from a lore perspective, the Lore Seekers are the entry level for getting into Elder Scrolls lore. We're medium, and then Written in Uncertainty is like professor level of lore. So if you really want to start on your Elder Scrolls lore, start with the Lore Seekers. They'll give you a good base. They're really good at that point. If you want to get a little bit more in depth, look at some of our lore segments we've done in past episodes. And then if you really want to just punish yourself with insane level, and in a good way, because who wouldn't, then go to like the graduate level courses of Written in Uncertainty. So there you go. Kelador in chat, hey buddy, how you doing? Yeah, no, definitely check out those two podcasts if you haven't already. I know from in this perspective, a lot of us, we kind of have a little bit of an incestual relationship with our listeners. A lot of people who listen to us also listen to Lore Seekers. I know they do because I've worked with Cash in the past. We play with him. He's even in our guild here on the PC side. Awesome guy. But Written on Uncertainty is probably not known to a lot of people. So I really wanted to give them that shout out. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The only reason I know about the Lore Seekers is because of you, Ag.
Awesome. I'm glad I can be helpful. Cash, you can make that check payable to... No, they're awesome. I love their show. I listen to it every single week. So, yeah. See, even I listen to other Elder Scrolls podcasts because they're awesome, and I love them. So,
they indeed are.
Yeah. I know Cash listens to ours because he quoted us at one point where I forget what did we say. We said something dumb, and I guess the cult of the Guar that he spit out his morning coffee laughing on that one.
Yep, one of my favorite streams. I'm glad I made an impact on something.
Indeed, that was awesome. But are we ready for the news, Ark? It's like I don't even run this show.
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just kidding with you. It's good because if you wouldn't have interrupted, I wouldn't have remembered the other shows that we wanted to do. But let's go ahead and hit on the news. Ark, take it to the news desk.
Right. So, first up, they announced the Hollowjack Crown Crate season, as well as the free Crown Crates. Now, the free Crown Crate part, as par with every season, will most likely be over by the time you are listening this recorded. But if you are listening this live and you are not aware of it, go kill any enemy creature, so basically anything that attacks you, between September 14 and 16. So one day is lost, but you still have
Well,
today
for you,
and tomorrow.
If you're listening to us and you're anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, you're good to go. Or Western Hemisphere. Yeah, you can still
suppose.
get it because it's only 3 minutes. It'll be too late on the East Coast, but you have up to 3 hours if you're on the West Coast. So keep that.
So basically, kill any enemy creature and you will get one of those Hollowjack Crown crates for free. The crates you will receive on September 19, and the season itself will start on September 20. Now, do you want to go over what's in this season, Ag, or?
We'll have a link in the
Just-
description. I mean, the crowd. I
right.
do want to say one thing though. Just like if you saw anything of note, I'm not going to go over everything because pictures are worth more than us talking about it in most cases. So if you want to see something, we'll have a link in the description. You can go see the actual article itself, and then you'll be able to view it. If you guys saw anything that was cool that you really kind of liked, you can say it here. I'm going to say the Guar or the Netch pet with the broken pumpkin on its head. Yeah, I'm going to want that. Which actually,
the little derpy Netch is great.
I will say this though. I think that doesn't come out of the crown crates. This is one of the first times where they're actually releasing an item that can only be bought with crown gems.
Yep. So it will be 300 crown gems, and it says this will be available in the limited time section of the crown crates in Crown Store. So there will be a limited time section in the crown crates, which I wasn't aware of, actually.
Yeah, this is the first time they've ever done that. Thank goodness I have like 800 crown gems. So
Yeah, I have like 600 plus too.
Yeah,
so
speaking of
I'm good on
Ouroboros
that.
crates.
yeah, thank you, Ouroboros crates. I appreciate that. I've opened a lot of Ouroboros crates. But yeah, no, that's the first time they've ever done that before. But honestly, now, can I also say something else that I don't know anything about it, but they kind of teased it out?
Yeah.
Do you see that weird pony thing with the glowing blue tattoos that they randomly teased out on Twitter saying, stay tuned for this?
Oh, yeah.
Does anyone know what that actually is or how it pertains?
I believe remember how they mentioned the ESO Plus members will get free items every month from Crown Store. I think maybe it will be the first one or something. Although I thought that would come up with Murkmire, and the date they gave. Actually, let me quickly check the Twitter of Elder Scrolls Online if I can find it again. They post so many things. There we go. So it says September 18. Check back on September 18. So it can't be that, because they mentioned that ESO Plus gift thing will come with Murkmire. So I don't actually know what this would be. You can get this reward for free, it says.
Okay.
But how?
I don't know.
Yeah, you might be onto something with the whole that might be the free thing if you're subbed. I didn't actually think of that.
I didn't either. I just knew, I'm like, hey, this is something. I just don't know what it's about, but I'm glad you brought that up. Anything else from the crown crates that you guys noticed that was neat or cool? No, if not, we can move on.
Yeah, I just like the
no,
derpy
yeah,
little Netch thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Netch is the main thing. So basically just, if you want the Netch, don't forget to save 300 gems. Because you'll need it.
Yeah.
And it's limited time, so you won't have enough time to get more gems. So save your gems if you really want this Netch.
Yeah. Definitely. All right.
Yeah.
Well.
So, the next part is they released the article on Murkmire and Update 20 preview. So basically, it just explains everything in text that we talked last episode, which all this information they gave out during the Bethesda gameplay day, was it?
Yeah.
Was it from PAX? Where were they? I don't know where
PAX
they
West,
were.
yeah.
PAX West.
So the presentation. But I did compile a group of the items, like bullet points,
Yeah.
so we can go over them if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so Murkmire will be in southern coast of Black Marsh, so near the sea, basically, or the ocean, whatever it is.
Can I throw something in
yeah.
here real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the coolest things, if anyone's read the Lord of Souls and what's the name of the other book?
Shoot, I'm reading the first one right now, actually.
Lord of...
Hold on, it's right behind me. I'll get it.
Okay. I cannot remember for the life of me. I think it's Lord of Souls, and I can't remember what the other one is.
All right, so it's the Infernal City and Lord of Souls, it looks like.
Okay, perfect. At the start of whichever one is first, I think it's Infernal City. It takes place in the city of Lilmoth, which is the main city for Murkmire.
Right, yeah. Apparently, like, I didn't know about it, but apparently there's like a race, fox race, that was supposed to be living there or something?
Yeah, it's the Lilmafeet.
Something like that.
Or something like that. Yeah. They are there's actually a lot of beastmen races within Argonia. A lot. Like, it's not just the Argonians. There's multiple different breeds of Argonians. There's the Lilmafeet, the fox people. There is the
Naga thing looks very cool.
The Nagas.
With their little stumpy snouts and razor teeth.
And before they went extinct, the silver-skinned people as well, whatever they're called. I can't remember their name right now.
The ones that died of the plague?
Yes.
Yeah.
The silver-skinned humans. What?
Yeah, why the hell can't I think of their name?
Oh, it is gonna bother me.
I don't know anything about Black Marsh, so I'm like...
Well, you actually...
Say, this is...
I'm blank.
This is the part of the podcast where I'm listening. I'm usually yelling the answer at nothing.
Yeah, well,
now that I'm on here, I'm like, oh yeah, right. I can't come up with these things. This is much harder than it looks.
Yeah, right? What is their name? It's gonna bother me now.
Just Google. Okay, hold on. Elder Scrolls Silver Skin People. We have something called Google that...
No.
Okay, it didn't show up.
Yeah, it doesn't show up at all. What are
Silver Lining?
Hold on, I'm gonna find it. It's unofficial Elder Scrolls pages. That's where we go. Sorry, everyone. This is not gonna work until we finish this out. Races.
Sanctified Silver Skin. Okay, so apparently a skin that is called Sanctified Silver Skin drops from Asylum Sanctorium or something, so that messes up with the entire search.
Kathringi.
Thank you.
Kathringi.
Musclehead to save the day.
Yeah. But yeah, there's several. Like, Kathringi were there, and then there were other races, like I said, that fill in there. But yeah, the Kathringi were the race that I had in mind that I just could not remember for the life of me. But yeah, Kathringi. They were once in all of Argonia as well before they got wiped out by the Slowed Plague. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
By the way, today on ESO Live, they also basically showed the Murkmire as well, but I didn't watch it because I don't like seeing the zone beforehand. I just want to go there and just be amazed at the release of the zone. So I didn't watch it, but if any of you watched it, feel free to just
I watched a little bit of it, but I've kind of figured at the same time the new horse is kind of neat, as well as some of the armor skins they had going on. It's very Argonian, so if you don't like Argonians, well, you're gonna hate this entire expansion.
I mean, hippity hoppity, Argonians are property, as Nika says. So,
yeah.
That's how I see it.
Wow. I see. All right.
They are Dunmer. That's why they are like that.
I gotcha.
It's normal for them.
Sure. Yeah. All right.
So the new Foreman Arena, it will be shorter than Veteran. It will be shorter than Dragonstar or Milestorm. It will be 5 stages. It will have sigils from Milestorm Arena, so it's kind of like in between Dragonstar and Milestorm in terms of mechanics, I believe.
Yeah.
And it will drop something called Black Rose Weapons, which will basically improve the abilities. Like it will, the great sword will be making uppercut do AOE damage.
Ooh.
So things like that. Yeah, I don't know how big that AOE will be though. Is it like just the adjacent, people, or will it be a bigger AOE? I don't know. It could be pretty powerful though.
Yeah.
Either way.
Well, currently the Maelstrom and Master weapons on Trash are just insanely powerful. Especially if it's a boss with a lot of trash. If it affects the reverse slash, oh my goodness, it's insane. Absolutely insane. So, yeah.
So, about Cyrodiil,
Oh, yeah.
the bridges and milestone gains will be completely destructible from now on. So, Bridge Alessia, bye. It's not gonna be up at all from now on. It will be like I'm gonna destroy it myself if I see it up. I don't care. I hate that bridge. They're adding goat paths instead of the bridges and milestone gates, because if they are destroyed, how do you go across the goat paths unless they're ambushed, which I'm sure the Bomber Knight Blades will always be there to, kill like 10 peoples at once. And they're adding a lot of new outposts to Cyrodiil as well. So those are the Cyrodiil changes.
Gotcha.
Anything you guys want to add?
No, it makes sense. I know with the bridges and mile gates, it'll be a nice little choke point. I'm just hoping that the goat paths you mentioned are designed in such a way as to make large Zergs running through a problem. Otherwise, why won't people just take those instead?
One picture I saw required, like, it was a broken bridge over a body of water. So you will most likely will be doing like a jumping puzzle. Not jumping puzzle, but you will be jumping from plank to plank, trying to not to fall off into the water, because you cannot attack in water.
Yeah.
And if you're in water, you still can get attacked. Yeah. So they are choke points, definitely the caves and whatnot. So I believe they will be very, weak against AoE when you are passing through those places.
Fair enough.
So as I said, some Bomber Knight Blades, I don't remember what they are called. Bomb Blade, there we go. So some Bomb Blades might actually be very, very destructive there.
Is it, do you know whether it's slaughterfish water around there as well? Because, I mean, so much of Cyrodiil, you try to swim across something, it's just you're done so quickly.
So I read that in some patch notes or something, if I remember correctly. I saw a picture, I don't remember where I saw it. They increased the width of the rivers and increased the damage of slaughterfish.
Oh, well, that's refreshing. Great, just what I want.
There will be some, I assume there will be some body of slaughterfish around the goth paths as well. Except, I suppose, the caves, because, that's just a cave. But the ones that you have to pass a bridge, I expect there to be some.
Well,
I hope so.
The idea is so people can't swim apart, that you have to use the goat path or the bridge. If people could just swim it, people would just swim it.
Right.
That's what the slaughterfish are there for, and it makes sense in this case. So, all right.
As for housing, the item grouping is coming.
Oh, thank goodness.
So, that'll be good. Like, I am not moving any tables in the house I have, because I don't want to move the things on top.
The item grouping will essentially allow you to move entire sections as one item. So, like, Lotus, what you were saying about taking the Augur of the Obscure and putting them on top the
volcano on Red Mountain.
How it currently is, if you move the volcano, the skull will look like it's just floating in midair. This will actually change that you can actually group it as an item, so you can move the table with all items on it.
Ooh,
so
I like that.
Like, people who were like essentially setting the table, like, oh, I'm going to put all my fruits and vegetables, I'm going to set a table, it's going to be great. Well, if you did that, you essentially were, if you move the table, all the vegetables that you took all that time to put on there would still be in that exact same position.
Which in my trophy room, I've got my Cyrodiil throne on one side with like some of my fancier busts, and then I just made like a giant banquet hall like down the center going over to like the trophy thing.
Yep.
And man, I screwed that up so many times trying to do it the first time. And then when I would screw it up, I'd have to, recorrect it. I'm like, oh God, I have to move all this stuff over again because it was like 4 inches off and it was just piece by piece. It's like, oh, every chicken leg. It's like, okay, I'm going to kill myself if I keep doing this.
Yep. That now no longer will be a thing. You'll be able to group it as one item and then move the entire thing as a whole. So that's definitely a nice quality of life for this game. So
they're also adding undo and redo as well in housing.
Oh.
Yep. Can you take over for the rest of the things?
Yeah,
because my throat is my eyes are getting teary, watery. So
understood. Let me pull it up here real quick.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yep. No worries. Now I got to figure out where we left off. Okay. Destructible bridges. Music boxes.
Hell yes, music boxes.
So we're going to be able to get music boxes in the game now, which will allow us to essentially pick the tracks that we want to see or hear, not see, played within our homes. So now if you really, really like the Stormhelm theme, you can... Stormheim theme. No, not Stormhelm theme. Dear heaven. You can now listen to that in your home in Morrowind.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Okay. Have they announced yet what they're going to have available for like tracks on these things? I assume it's going to be literally connected to, like, it has to be in the already accounted for ESO game engine itself.
Yeah.
But I was curious, like, how much they will have, because much like you, my favorite game is actually Elder Scrolls 3. So I want that Peaceful Waters soundtrack, which is the second one, which is always like my favorite one from that. And they have a sort of rendition of it in the Morrowind expansion. I'm kind of hoping they'll like let me jam that in there so people will listen to that until they go crazy.
I think from a legal perspective, they wouldn't be able to use that because Bethesda owns it, not ZeniMax. Yeah, they're the same company, but there's probably legal waters.
Yeah, technicalities, yeah.
So I have a feeling we're not going to see... The other thing that concerned me was... Not concerned me, but had me thinking. Both of us have the soundtracks. There are like 50 tracks on each CD.
Yes.
So if they put every single song from every single DLC, they are all three. How many do they have? They have 3 of them now?
There's the base one.
Then they did the Imperial City and then Somerset.
The Somerset one. Actually, there's a Morrowind one.
Oh, Morrowind. Maybe not Somerset. Maybe I was...
No, Somerset. They've got a Somerset one now, too, because it's actually 4.
Okay, so then there's 4. Each one of them.
Yeah, the Somerset one's surprisingly good, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I like it. It's okay. Anyway, but if they put all those in, that's like 200 tracks. I don't know if they're going to do that.
A lot of music.
I really think they'll probably just pick a couple of the theme songs or whatever, because if they
maybe just drop more in the Crown Store over time or something like that.
Maybe. And that's something.
I also actually read that Brad Derrick will be. Well, it was Brad Derrick, right?
Yeah.
He's like the lead for this
will
one.
be making new music with the music boxes.
Ooh.
So with Murkmire, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that'd be pretty sweet because, like I said, I mean, I love Jeremy Soule, but I've been very impressed with Brad Derrick, especially when he's joined with Maluka and they've done a couple of the other compilations. It's like the final track on the Somerset album, 3 Hearts of Fire. It was when they did the recap.
Oh, yeah.
That is so good. Like, I use that before I go to the gym now. I'm like, hell yes, I want to throw something around.
Yeah, get you hype. No, I agree. I don't... that's the other question. Do you think they're actually going to cash shop these things, like tracks, or do you think it's just?
I don't. I feel like you might be able to get some, but I feel like there'll be an initial thing, and then they might be like, okay, going for kind of like with the motif thing, like, okay, here's the base motifs. Also, now maybe here's 3 songs. Also, you could also buy these 10 songs.
Could be. I expect them as daily rewards as well,
Yeah.
Well, I'd be down with that. The daily rewards have been on quite the upswing. So
Speaking of upswing for daily rewards, it's like we practiced that. Murkmire will be available as a daily reward at the end of November. Seriously, we didn't practice that. I'm so glad you guys brought that up. That was great.
Why do you say we didn't? See, we can.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, we
that
totally
was our one
planned.
shot at looking like a prepared podcast.
We've been planning me coming on here for months, clearly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a decision this week.
This literally did not happen 5 minutes. I did not invite him 5 minutes before we went live. I did. I really did. Yeah.
Yeah, that is an incredible reward. Like the 100K thing that they did this month or are currently still doing for those of us who are still in it. I
think I missed a few days. I don't even know where.
Well, you've got more money than God, so what does it matter?
Well, actually, I can still hit it as long as I don't miss any days. I just did the math, but
I mean, I have a decent amount of money. I like always sit at around 1 mil, 1.5 mil, but I'm like, when I listen to you, I'm like, oh, for God's sake, now I sound poor. Like, Jesus Christ.
Wait, how much do you sit on?
I generally have about 1 mil to 1.5 mil. That's what I generally sit at.
Rich people.
Yeah, and I'm just the middle class. I can't buy all the manners like
Ag. People on this podcast, like,
I'm currently sitting on 21 mil.
Jeez.
And you are not decorating the houses.
That's why I'm sitting on 21 mil.
That's to be fair. I spent so much on motifs. So much on motifs.
That is, I don't buy any motifs. I farm every single one of them.
Once I pop like all the achievements to something, I'm like, we're done.
If it's less than like 5,000 for a motif page, I'll buy it, but only if I need it for like a crafting writ. Like I'll look, and if it's cheap, like if it's under 5K, I'll buy it. If it's not, then I won't.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be like under 5K. If it's not under 5K, I'll farm it. So, yeah, that's how I have all that money. I need more.
That's a crazy amount, though.
What do you need more for?
More houses.
21 million.
More houses.
I'm actually going to buy every single house in the game.
No, but here's the problem.
Yeah, put one
all
storage
the houses
crate per house.
Yeah.
come out as Crown Store only.
Well, I can't
Like
do
the
anything about
expensive
those.
one.
I can't do anything about those.
Yeah, it's not like you can spend 21 million on houses anymore.
No, there's gifting now. You get somebody to buy it for real money, and
Yeah,
you can. I was going to say you could just bribe them with your vast wealth in game.
And I would have had like
unfortunately.
I was going like I just spent a ton of money on a bunch of workout equipment. So I didn't actually buy the other house, the one that I wanted, because I was going to buy it, the one in the Gold Coast, but I didn't want to spend.
The Linshall Grand Manor.
Yeah.
I am so upset they keep making that house limited time only.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to, as much as I wanted it, I wasn't going to spend the money on the crowns when I just spent like $1,500 on all this workout equipment. Sears is going out of business, so I got like everything half price. So
nice.
Like I bought a Smith cage that was like $1,300 for like $600, and then
that's pretty sweet.
Elliptical that was $1,500 for like $750. So yeah, that's why I was like, well, it's either I buy it now or I'm buying it full price a year from now. So yeah, I did. The buyer's remorse hasn't set in yet, but eventually it will. Probably because the credit card statement hasn't come in yet. It's still there, but the statement hasn't come in yet. So, it'll eventually hit me. All right. Last bit of news really is ESO. On ESO Live, they announced that Murkmire will arrive on the PTS on Monday, the 17th of September. So pretty much when this show goes live, actually, if you're listening to this now, make sure your PTS is up and patching. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. It will start with a North American character copy first. So if you're doing anything on the PTS now, you'll get your finished characters will be wiped and replaced. So they'll do North America first, and then EU guys will have to use your templates, and then vice versa. So I think that's the end of the news.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Right.
I thought I was muted for a second.
No, we're here.
I feel educated, so.
Yeah.
It was awesome. There you go, guys. That's going to be kind of the end of our show. Thank you so much to Lotus of Doom for coming on the show this evening. I really enjoyed having you on, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you very much. I was going to say it's an honor, guys. I greatly appreciate it. It's going to be weird to listen to and actually ever hear my voice, but it's
I have to
small price to pay.
I have to do it every single week for multiple podcasts. So yeah, it happens. Anyway, why don't you go ahead and tell people where they can find you, pimp your channel out a little bit, that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm the one who's talking in chat because Twitch, for some reason, won't let anybody have my tag. I'm not sure why. So I'm Lotus OD on Twitch, not because of choice, just because there is no Lotus of Doom and they say I can't have it either. But Twitter and everywhere else, I'm Lotus of Doom.
Musclehead007 says, I think you should have Lotus of Doom back every time.
Well, I appreciate that.
You got one vote.
I got one vote.
One vote.
I appreciate that very much.
That's awesome. No, it's really good. I'm really glad that you were on. Obviously, you're a pleasure to talk to, and I think we had a pretty fun tonight. Anyway,
yeah, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah. You know, I enjoyed all of it except for when Art kept interrupting me when I tried to move on to the news. Over and over and over again. That's what we do. That's how we roll here. We planned all that. Yeah. What's entertainment without a little drama, right? You know, you wouldn't watch Game of Thrones if they were all friends. So we had to put that in there. It was all planned. Yeah. Anyway, Arkhaniir, where can people find you?
You can find me anywhere that is Arkhaniir, ARKHANIIR. I'm on Twitch streaming somewhat regularly, lots of ESO, twitch.tv/Arkhaniir. I'm on Twitter, twitter.com/Arkhaniir. You can send me an email at arkhaniir@gmail.com. That's about it.
Oh, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to break this lock. Force it! I think my mouse is dying because it started doing some really weird stuff there. I don't.
Yeah, blame the mouse.
I am. Either that or I just really got so used to using force lock because my other character, my main, has just the force lock thing on. So, yeah. Anyway. All right. Moving on. You can follow me on Twitter at Aggelos, AGGELOS_DCN. And, of course, if you're interested in joining us in the Elder Scrolls Online on the North American PC Data Center, because that's where we are, you can send us a message, join our Discord, and say, hey, I'd like to join Hands of Fate in the Elder Scrolls Online. We would love to have you. We do events throughout the week, and we have actually a pretty fun little participation system in place where you show up to events, you get participation points, and each month we give away a Crown Store item to people who earn participation. So you play the game, and you get rewarded for playing the game. Who would have known? Fun. Anyway. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. All right, moving on. Anyway, you can follow everything we do, dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork. You can help support the show there. You can also help support us by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and it never really matters, but you guys listen anyway. Thank you so much. It was awesome. Thank you, guys. Special thank you yet again to Lotus of Doom for showing up on this show. We really appreciate it, and we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Tales of Tamriel, and we'll see you next time. See you later, everybody.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magic effused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.